my grandfather for 9/11.
Wow.
For America.
We are live.
We are live.
We are live.
Did I say welcome to the main event?
Run that thing back, bro. You mad?
Oh, man.
Behave before you talk about what I'm talking about, yeah?
Disclaimer.
Run that thing back. Nah, man, stay there in your corner, man. Run that thing back, fam. I don't want to hear nothing from you.
We are live, guys. I'm Sam, Mr. Blipstick.
Revenue GS.
Joe, one further the Cyber Nerds.
And welcome back to another Boondocks S1 Ep8. The real spoilers review. And if you want to be the realest TCNFam, by all means, subscribe to the channel, like, leave a comment, and share it worldwide in it, whatever you can do. So today's episode, 2 parts to it that come full circle to one thing in it. So reality show and Huey dealing with what's real and what's not in it. So which one you man want to tackle today? Huey's or Riley's shenanigans?
Sam, where you at?
I don't know, I'll say we go with, is it Riley and the whole TV show thing?
Okay, so
that's just a funny aspect within itself because, like you're saying, they like reality TV shows, but at the same time,
reality.
yeah, they're bro, they're really not, but they are at the same time. It was crazy how they were spinning it because most of those times those shows are scripted. They've got producers behind it.
No, they are scripted.
Yeah, exactly.
The only thing that's not scripted
yeah.
on the screens are the Cyber Nerds. The Cyber Nerds are just not scripted at all.
Bro. Yeah, that's just find it hilarious because I don't know. I've seen bare behind the scenes about sometimes. I think they even did it on the show as well, where they got to someone's doorstep, open up the door, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is exhibit ever!" And they were like, "All right, now another take inside the house." But some people won't realize that's happening and be like, "This must be authentic." Where you're like, "How did the cameraman get inside that person's house to get the reaction?"
the peripheral view to the reaction.
Yeah, it blows my mind. But at the same aspect, it was funny how he was also lying to get them on the show, who are also themselves liars.
I mean, everybody's got a lie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
bro,
Yeah,
they're all
that's what I mean.
they're all
Yeah.
corporate, innit? They're all part of the thing, bro.
It's hilarious. I loved it.
It's mad
It's
because
already laughing.
yeah, it's mad because, bro, like this whole thing's mad. But then it's like, that's not reality because obviously they've scripted the thing. But isn't that them man's reality because that's what they believe? You know what I'm saying? They watch them things like, oh, I'm watching reality TV, like, and like, do you know what I'm saying? They don't really care, like,
The real.
yeah, fam.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. But it's like it's all mad. It's all mad.
Yeah,
innit?
it's mad because like, and you know what's a funny thing about it is that, like, I wonder, like, someone out there was like, yo, we're gonna make this reality show based on people's like struggles. And then we're going to put a bow tie, we're going to put a spin on it, a bow tie on it, and at the end everyone's going to be happy. Do you know what I'm saying? But like, it's not, like, obviously it's entertainment, but the way where, like, people digest the content, and like, even you was like saying, oh, like, it's like us watching them while they're watching us, like what's real? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it puts in question, like, what are we watching? Is it real? Is that person actually going through financial, health problems and stuff like that? And then we're just sitting here soaking it all up with a popcorn. You know what I'm saying? Like who saw this vision and was like, people actually like seeing other people's like misery, and then like, and you kind of acting on it, whether you're watching it, whether you're rooting for that person, do you know what I'm saying? Like, actually works.
It must have come back way back in the day when you saw someone getting stoned.
Rotted, fam. I feel
What do
like
you think about it, bro?
I'm not. The thing is, I was gonna expand on Raven's thing. I was gonna expand on Raven's.
Wait, before you expand, I want to hear his take on this.
I don't.
Bro,
Go on.
like, people enjoy someone, like, what was the other one when they're in, like, the locks? and people just throw tomatoes at them.
Yeah.
People love seeing that stuff.
Yeah, but I want to go the other way as well. I want to be like, it's not always just seeing people's misfortune. It's also seeing people's joy. And I'll bring that to the cyber nerds, innit? Like, people lock in to see how excited we get about this stuff. But then I feel like it goes for everything. So like, there's a section of people who, like, let's say if you're a positive person, you probably want to see the positive stuff, or even you're like a bit of a sad person, you want to see positive stuff to actually, you know what I'm saying? But there's the other spectrum of that, is that people who are in a bad place want to see people in a worse place. But then also people in a good place want to see people in a bad place be uplifted. And I feel like sometimes the show, them people showing up might be a company who are in a good place wanting to uplift other people, but then also adding narrative on it to make it more entertaining.
And that, you get financial gain off that.
Exactly. But at the same time, they feel like that's justified because they're actually helping, they're out actually helping the people. Like, let's say they do fix up Riley's house and that. They've got a bed with hydraulics. Not that you might want a bed with hydraulics, but in their mind...
might, for his activities.
But in their mind, you know what I'm saying, these things will add happiness to them. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's a mad cycle, and that's what man's talking about.
Yeah, and it takes me back here to like adverts like Oxfam,
bro.
Yeah, where you show something that's, you know, it's like they'll show Africa, they'll show, I don't know, certain part of like a country in Africa, and they'll show a kid, bear flies. They'll show like muddy running water. Oh, these people don't have water. These people don't have this and that. Like, if you donate, like, it's a great cause. Like, you're almost like trying to uplift that thing, but that's not actually the reality. Because if you'd gone to Africa, you'd see Africa and be like, raw, this is actually Wakanda, where I'm at. Do you know what I'm saying? This place is actually clean. Like, obviously, they have issues like everybody has.
Everyone.
But they'll put this image, they'll do this little clip as a show to kind of like, to sell you up on that.
And then obviously, the sale on that, all the peas you man are sending, some goes to Africa, but there's also the CEO of Oxfam pushing a, you know what I'm saying, a Rolls Royce and all that.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's bruv, it's a bit mad, but it's also not, because they're actually helping.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
That might not help. That might not help.
I can't tell you what they're doing or
That might not help.
but I will presume some of that peas actually going to help something.
I was gonna say, like, end of the episode, didn't man come back and say, we can't take your car, but here's the invoice?
That's because them man were fraudulent with it.
Exactly.
That's because them man were fraudulent with it.
So there's them man out there.
No, but it's fraudulent
too.
No,
Licking their
there's
fingers.
100%. There's 100% people that are fraudulent with it. But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, Exhibit wasn't fraudulent. Exhibit came because he saw something and he wanted to uplift the thing. And then when they found out it was fake, he was like, "No, you man have got to pay for the thing." To me, that's fine. Do you get what I'm saying? My game back with a receipt, bro. Hey, take that.
That take is mad. So then that takes us to Riley, which in a sense they use this, you know, like his imagination, because obviously Riley's so tapped into what's actually real that those who are pushing the propaganda, like, oh, I gotta watch out what this kid is doing because he's just too woke to be out here. Do you know what I'm saying? But then
Unsupervised.
do you know what I mean? But then those who are in the real, in the matrix, are like, no, like, you're just paro, fam. Like that thing is not real. But what you're doing to you is real. Like, the paradox of that, like, it's mad how one like views the other.
Yes.
But then one is playing the part of someone else's vision of what they wanted for you to watch.
But the thing is, it's like, the question is the secret agent real? And even if the secret agent ain't real, does that actually matter? Do you know what I'm saying? Because Huey's actually on the thing anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? He's out there trying to help. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, does it matter if someone else doesn't believe in what you're saying is going on when you're actually doing positive things out there to make things better? Do you get what I'm saying? Because, like, for me personally, even if Huey's secret agent wasn't real, I'll be like, oh, that's fine. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he's doing the thing, like, his thing's not make believe. Like his thing's not a blatant deception, whereas the Tooth Fairy is a blatant deception that you will find out the truth at a certain point. Do you know what I'm saying?
But like, yeah, but there's still they find out the truth, yeah, but they're so again caught up in the real that they'll carry on
that thing,
carry on that
they'll
to
teach their kids.
Their kids that. Do you know what I'm saying? So in a way, like they're still
they're in
inside that, innit?
They're in.
Like and taking Huey's thing further, yeah, is that raw. I got someone shadowing me. Well, if we look at today, yeah, you actually have got stuff around us that shadows, man. Like mobile phones and all of that.
People are shadowing themselves these days, bruv. Like you're getting shadowed by your peers, bruv. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's deep today because it's not the government cancelling people. I mean, they're cancelling each other, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, you don't appoint my views. So that these man get their whole echo chamber. You're finished, bruv. Do you get what I'm saying? It happened last week.
Boy, it's mad. But then that's them getting trained.
Yes.
On the real.
Yes. Bruv, them man have trained these man are like an army that it's like, alright, we won't do it no more. You man can do it yourselves. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's mad.
Yeah. You know, another thing that reminded me, is that obviously this episode is called The Real. Yeah, and Huey's whole thing is like, what's real, what's not. Now, there is a scene on The Matrix when Neo first goes into where they're sitting, where it's like in the desert, and Morpheus is like, "Welcome to the desert of the real." Do you know what I'm saying? And it kind of stays on that, and they've got bare TVs, bare stuff like that, and it's like they're sitting somewhere where there's nothing, but they can see what other people are kind of like
perceiving it.
Do you know what I'm saying? And this goes back to this whole show again, where it's like, everything's like a TV thing. But like, fast forward today, you've got that on your phones, and like your phone's listening to you, bro. Like it's mad, like how information and how we put things out there for the masses. How it changes their system, the way they compute things, the way they see things, the way they hear things. Boondocks was ahead of his time, like a long time ago, bro.
And then that comes back to the thing, like, was it ahead of his time or us man just late to the party, fam? Like, because you know what I'm saying? It's mad because I just the older you get, the more you grow, the more you have a different perspective on stuff. When you rewatch old stuff, it has new meanings, fam. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, raw. Is that us growing, or is this show actually being ahead of its time? Do you know what I'm saying? Because at that time, there was going to be a group of people who watched that and 100% understood it for what it was then. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On at the same level as we already understanding it now.
You know, one thing that always comes to mind is that is it only selected few whose brain operate in a different frequency and everybody else brain's just not on that frequency, like by nature? Because watching this, we used to watch this way back, as teenagers, and the way we would just perceive stuff and then understand stuff, and the way even we would move, the way you would move, you might have not been 100% conscious of that, but you look back to today where you were, and you look back then, you're like, oh, it kind of makes sense why I'm here today and the way I think, the way I do things, because I was already on that kind of path back then.
I think it's I don't want to say it's a brain frequency thing. I feel like it's probably like,
you're just gonna say programming?
It's nature and nurture as well. It's both, bruv, because it's like a lot of this stuff comes from parents. Do you know what I'm saying? But a lot of it comes like I would say a lot of it comes from parents, man, because it's like,
really,
bro. I feel like you'll have good parents that have got dumb youths, but I feel like those dumb youths may have listened to other influences as opposed to listening to the influence. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, because when coming up with me and my brothers, I just feel like Dad put it on, man. Do you know what I'm saying? You was there, bruv. Like, Dad was putting it on, man. And I feel like that's where it comes from, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? And all my brothers, I feel like, share similar ideas and all of that. And I feel like that's from Dad, innit? You get me? And if you're saying maybe what we're saying is the same, where I'm like, I think it's actually from dad talking to me, and you're saying it might just be genetics. You know what I'm saying? That was from dad as well, you get me? But that's how I see it. And then I see next man who may have different relationship, like parents may have gone through something else, boom, 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 or they was listening to other influences when they should have been listening to these influences. And I feel like that shapes man, because I remember, like, dad always used to put on man, like, I think it was one of them things where dad would always be onto man's friends. Like,
because obviously you're spending more time with
yeah. And I feel like that was sick, because like I never really saw that from other people's parents being onto who you're hanging out with. It's not even, you know what I'm saying? They'd usually get onto you. Like, oh, you don't do that. You don't do that. But my dad would be like, nah, don't hang around with that youth there. Nah, I don't like that youth there. Oh, where you going? Raven's house. Cool. Yeah, just go Raven's house. Because he understands, right, if I just talk to Joe about, Joe, you're doing this, Joe, you're doing that. Joe might have then an aversion to, oh, dad's on me again. But then instead, if he just identifies things about friends that can get clapped, that I can also identify, it's easier to remove that. Do you get what I'm saying? And then I feel like even with like us man's relationship, like our relationship stems from our parents, bruv. Do you get what I'm saying? My relationship with Raven, I felt like dad and like mum incubated that thing heavily, as well as basketball. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's, get me? So yeah, there is genetics, but there's bare man who are smart that are dumb, bro.
Yeah, and I guess it's also to do with, it's also a social programming, like whether even from if you look back in the day, it would be either newspapers. Do you know what I'm saying? Like war stuff. Like there's posters saying, "Oh, we need you now. Like your country needs you." Like all that stuff. Like the finger pointing. Like when you're reading that poster, it's like oh, it's me. Like I'm gonna make a difference towards this, whether it's a war, wherever it is. Do you know what I mean? So it's something that I guess humans been running on humans from
the beginning of time.
From the beginning. Do you know what I'm saying? But then, and it goes back to my question, like, are some of us code cracked that where we don't take that information in? It's like, no, like this doesn't make sense to me. I'm just gonna go here.
I feel like maybe it's that, because it goes, take it back to the Matrix. When they're like, oh look, the Matrix has been reset 6 times, but every time we do it, there has to be this amount of people who are born woke. Because like it says Neo is the anomaly of all of these things that we couldn't calculate perfectly, and then we got Neo. Like he's the remained in sum. Like I feel like there has to be a group of people who just don't conform. Do you know what I'm saying? Like to whatever.
That's mad, man.
But then I don't know it's not like I don't believe them man are special or different. I just feel like, bruv, like
I don't think it's special.
They just see things differently, bruv. Like,
I don't think that's anything special.
So there's no people like that out there. Not because they see something differently, but because, like you're saying, maybe it is down to genetics though.
This is
and
my
then some
question,
people get
bro.
outcasted.
This is my question.
Because they do see something different.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like, fam, it's mad, bruv, because it's like Magneto and Professor Xavier, fam. Both of these men are Omega level, bruv. But like they have this one, like there's maybe one experience that they both went through that makes them the other way. Magneto's parents getting locked up, boom, I'm icy for these man. Professor Xavier growing up rich in Westchester, bang.
Nice
like, bruv,
there's a different world.
But they're boys, they are best friends. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's the experience, deep, bruv. Yo, bruv, if Charles Xavier's parents took him to a public school, would his whole perception be different? Maybe. Like, and that's, I've got to put that down on the parents. You know what I'm saying? Fam, yeah, bruv, because like we're saying, bruv, if you grew up with a tooth fairy, and then you teach your kid about the tooth fairy's it. But if you grew up with a tooth fairy, and then you're like, bruv, this thing ain't real, and then something else happens to you in life where you're like, Father Christmas ain't real, and you're just like, bruv, I'm not lying to my kids. Bang. That's you're perpetuating a new thing now. Like, how many parents? Oh, bruv, this is such a deep conversation.
Wow,
yeah, because it's such a deep conversation. Because for me personally, like, I think the other day we was talking about Christmas, and it's like, bruh, as a grown man, I decide, like, when man has kids, I'm deciding the holidays. Do you know what I'm saying? Are we celebrating Star Wars Day? Are we celebrating Batman Day? Are we doing Christmas, Easter? Like, you decide the culture of your household, fam. So these people who are just like, oh, what are they doing on TV? Or what are they doing on Instagram? Oh, Valentine's Day is today. Like, we got to do this. Bruv,
That's it.
you're just, you know what I'm saying? Because they might be scared of being like, Valentine's Day is dead. I've got to spend bare peas this day when I love my wife every day of the year. Why? And then Xing it, bruv, because they're scared of being that outcast. Like you're saying, oh, no, he's different. He's weird. He doesn't celebrate it. Boo, boo. Bruv, some man can't handle that pressure. Bruv, some man cannot handle that pressure, fam. To be the one at the table who's like drinking something differently. Fam, I feel like us man have been that. Like, man have been nerds from birth. Like, what are you going to do?
So isn't that also nurturing as well then? Where like, outside of your household, like I said, if you go somewhere, and let's say you don't drink, you go to a pub just to socialise, everyone's like, oh, I'm getting a beer, da-da-da-da, and you're like, oh, I'll just have a water.
Yeah.
That kind of social pressure, don't you think that also shapes people?
My question is, why are you going to the pub, bro? If you don't drink, bruv, you're in the wrong place. That's me. That's
with your friends.
Bruv.
Yeah,
Or
look.
that's
or
the-
whatever.
Bruv.
That's. I think I don't necessarily agree with that because I remember there was a particular year.
I remember you didn't drink.
I didn't drink for a whole year. Yeah, and I'll still go to the parties, and obviously, like the British be still trying to push the drink to me, and I'll be like,
no.
I'm
That's
good,
it.
man. I'm still having a good time and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? And obviously, like you said, that builds character and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Where pressure doesn't get to you.
That's it.
Bro, man went a whole year. Man was at the wildest parties, clubs, you name it. Man was in there. And I was just chilling to some soda, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, but again, if you can't take the heat, why are you there?
You got to know yourself.
Why are you
You
there?
got to know yourself.
You know what I mean? So,
bro, that's what I mean. It does get deep.
But
guys,
I just don't know, bro.
jump in the comment section and go ham on this topic. Because Boondocks just does that. But appreciate you guys coming through. We'll be seeing you guys next week for episode 9. I'm Raven your GS.
I'm Sam, Mr. Blitztech.
Joe, one further to Cyber Nerds.
And don't forget, if you want to watch our watch-alongs, head over to patreon.com/the Cybernerds. Peace.